In the last video, I showed you the beginning of my trip to Costa Rica, the tourist activities I did in San Jose, and introduced you to some awesome people. This time we're in a very small town on the Caribbean coast called Parismina. After a 15-minute boat ride, we landed at the docks of our new home. Myself, Brady, and our two new roommates, Ben and Scott, two super fun young guys from just outside London, England, were taken to our new house by our next host mom, Xiomara. We dropped our stuff off, checked out our new home, then met up with the rest of the group to go on a quick tour of the small town. We very quickly realized what we were in for. Although beautiful and friendly, the town was about as rural as you can get. Super basic living conditions, humid hot weather and rain every day, beans and rice for almost every meal. Bathrooms that looked like they were abandoned, showers with freezing cold water, blazing hot sun that would burn us to a crisp, and rough volunteer work that apparently was going to be much more difficult than I expected. However, the fact that this village was overrun by many different dogs that wanted to meet us made this much more comfortable. That night, we all had our dinner with our family, then tried our best to get comfortable and get a good night of sleep in our new beds. So these places have no Wi-Fi. It's gonna be interesting. Apparently there's a lot of frogs here. And we're gonna hear them all night long. Admittedly, I did sleep pretty well, probably due to the long talk that I had with Brady about life and traveling just before, and the bug net canopy draped over my bed making me feel like a princess. Even under the bug net, I woke up the next morning covered in bug bites and itching everywhere. I'm unusually reactive to mosquito bites, so I now had giant bumps all over my arms and legs. We then had breakfast and set out to our first volunteer work meeting with the organization called A-Stop. This organization is a sea turtle conservation project in Parismina that organizes all the volunteers and turtle protection efforts. I'll summarize most of the work we did, since it would be super boring if I were to explain our full itinerary of every single day here. We were scheduled to work two 2-hour shifts Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 and 3 to 5. Most of these shifts consisted of picking up trash off the beach, picking up trash around Parismina, repainting benches and turtle statues, cleaning out a spare room in the A-Stop HQ, and other community service-centered activities. In the HQ, there were whiteboard schedules we had to sign up for our different activities, mainly hatchery guarding, and my least favorite part of this entire trip, night patrols. Guarding the hatchery just meant sitting on a bench next to the hatchery for 3 hours at a time, making sure no rodents, poachers, or other threats could steal or damage the sea turtle eggs. And it's not that bad, just a couple million bugs flying around. So I walked 20 minutes back to the house to get a bug net because the bugs were so bad out here, and my bug net's like a sheet. So I wasn't sure what to do, but I made it work, and I'm so proud. I have my own personal bug net now. The night patrols, however, were a different story. The shifts were either from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. or 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. The point of these patrols are to walk the beach and discover turtle eggs, bring them back to the hatchery safely, turtle nests and tracks, protect any currently nesting sea turtles from poachers, and measure the turtles in size for reference. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Wrong. In addition to being in the middle of the night, each walk was about 5 miles in the soft beach sand, making it even more tiring. And if you found a nest like we did one night, spending the extra time to dig out the eggs and carry around 130 eggs, about 20 pounds, the entire distance back. I didn't get too many clips of my time on these night patrols because it was too dark for my camera to see, and I was too exhausted and couldn't be bothered to carry my camera with me most nights. Off the subject of night patrols, we spent any free time that we had throughout the weeks by either relaxing or getting some smoothies at the local family-run restaurant Soda Olga. We spent a lot of time here, so thankfully everything was very cheap. A smoothie was about $2.75, and a Costa Rican style burger and fries for about $4. I always felt bad eating out before having dinner with my host family, but living off beans and rice wasn't enough for me. Even with all the extra meals I paid for while in Parismina, I still came back from my trip having lost around 5 to 10 pounds of body weight. buddy. Hi, buddy. Oh, good boy. Come on, boy. Having trouble?
No.
After finishing our first full week, my group and I decided to pay a $28 fee and go on a day tour of Tortuguero National Park nearby the town. We got picked up at the docks and took another water taxi through the rivers of Costa Rica. Remember when I said everything wants to kill you? Well, this is what I mean. In addition to seeing many interesting animals like monkeys and birds, we also saw plenty of very dangerous creatures. We got attacked by large black bees, we got up close and personal to wild poison dart frogs, got within 20 feet of multiple wild crocodiles in the river, we saw giant spiders in the jungle, even more mosquitoes, and just about everything else that you would expect to see in Costa Rica. This tour was a ton of fun though, especially getting to see these animals that everybody has seen on TV, but now in their natural habitat. We also made a stop at another small restaurant in Tortuguero, which had all the necessities that I'd been looking forward to for the past week. Great food, alcohol, and a decent phone signal. I finally got to call my family and let them know that I wasn't dead after not being able to talk to any of them for about 4 days straight. Now that I was finally able to relax, I sucked down 2 amazing pina coladas and another burger, then set off with our group for a short hiking tour of a lookout point in Tortuguero. The pathways were made of wood and ran through the lush green jungle. We heard howler monkeys, and some of our group even got to see sloths in the trees. Joy is a champion when it comes to bugs.
Oh, other things too, but that's pretty nice. Do you want me to tap?
Yeah.
We then walked up multiple hundred steps to the top of the lookout where we all got pictures together and got to relax in the beautiful scenery of eastern Costa Rica. Costa Rica's insane, man. There's everything here. We're like walking on these pathways. We've seen monkeys, we've seen insects, enormous spiders, toucans. Costa Rica is the most biodiverse place on the planet in the jungles, and it's really starting to show. I haven't been filming as much as I would like to, just because I've been too busy focused on like actually living in the moment and seeing the stuff for myself rather than just trying to make a video. We headed back to the boat, said goodbye to Tortuguero, and set sail for Parismina once again. The next day was also very special for me. It was June 26th, my 24th birthday, and the first time that I'd be spending my birthday in a foreign country. We didn't do much this day aside from our host family throwing me and their son a dual birthday party.
Lo mismo que
Gracias. Gracias. Today is actually my 24th birthday, and I accomplished my goal of just trying to be out of the country on my birthday. That was a big reason to why I did this. Don't really have any plans for today. I might go grab a beer and lay in a hammock. Just gonna take it easy. Brady, Ben, Scott, and I went down to the beach later in the day to walk and swim. This was where the entire mood of our trip changed very suddenly. We found out that some people in our group had gotten sick and had already left Parismina. The next morning, even more people headed out after deciding they would rather explore the country rather than stay in town and do the volunteer work. I'll be honest, I highly considered leaving also, but decided to stay and finish out the week. I am having a big debate between staying here, going to La Fortuna alone, and seeing that city, or going with the boys, the UK boys, to I can't judge anybody for choosing to leave, as being in one place for 2 weeks while traveling is always pretty mentally difficult. Our group had originally come to Parismina with 16 people and was now down to 3, Brady, Joy, and myself. Although there were also a few other people from previous weeks that were still there, so we weren't entirely alone. I know this whole trip sounds like nothing but community service and me complaining about things, but there were also some very memorable parts as well. Although I was burnt to hell and in pain from sunburns most of the time, it didn't stop me from getting very excited to see baby leatherback sea turtles hatching on 2 different occasions. The first time was actually our first night there. Many babies hatched, and we got to watch them run from the hatchery to the ocean, a very magical moment that most people will never get to experience for themselves. The second time a group was hatching, I put away my camera and sat there quiet as I watched these babies get introduced to the world. Traveling has shown me incredible things, but getting to see such beautiful animals return to the sea at the beginning of their life was a surreal experience. Now that our trip was coming to an end, we had to solidify our presence at the conservation project. Brady, Joy, and I painted our hands and placed our handprints next to each other on the wall of volunteers. Something so seemingly small but important to us. We were the remaining few that stuck it out and fulfilled our purpose for coming to Costa Rica. Whatever happened next would be the aftermath. And thankfully so, because Nicaragua, the country directly above us, got hit with a huge hurricane and tropical storms, and it was coming our way. Luckily, it was the day that I was scheduled to return to San Jose anyway, but others weren't so lucky. We all got evacuated and had to return to the big city via a boat to Caño Blanco, a 2-hour bus ride to Siquirres, and a 4-hour bus ride back to San Jose.
We're just waiting for Joy, right?
I know, I just pointed over here.
I don't understand it very well.
I don't know if he's saying, I don't know. I don't know if he's saying. About that.
What is our bus doing?
Oh yeah, we're gonna buy the bus tickets here.
It wouldn't fit over. It's okay, it's wet.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Camión
Camión?
o bus.
Bus. Bus.
Camión sounds better, and it's like actual Spanish word for it, but then like Spanglish, and everyone uses bus. El bus.
Camión a Siquirres. Ándale. Vámonos.
Oh,
Wait, I'm peeling my skin off.
It's all you, baby.
Mira, huele.
After 6 hours of traveling, we finally made it back to Maximo Nivel. Shout out to Anna for being my travel partner on the bus for like 4 hours. What's it called? Scotland. I've never met anybody from Scotland, so that was cool. Badass. Upon arrival in San Jose, we got everything sorted out at Maximo Nivel, got our free shirts and certificates for completing the program. Then went to grab some subpar Costa Rican Chinese food at a small shop called Chini To Go.
My jelly?
Where you had your in it.
I did. My jelly?
Why you say that in such a weird way?
This was the most that we've laughed the whole trip. We had such a great time just hanging out together for one last time. I said goodbye to Joy, then took an Uber with Brady back to our original host family for the night. A few new people had arrived here also, including Anna, a super nice girl from Scotland who I just sat next to and talked to on a bus for 4 hours. We all had dinner together, hung out and got to know each other, then went to bed. My last night in Costa Rica. I'm back at the original place, man. The trip's coming to an end. Oh, it's so sad. One last night with the roommates. It's been a great trip. It really has. That night I woke up at 1 a.m., got picked up at 2 a.m. and taken to the airport, and then waited for my flight back to California at 6 a.m.
To work there. It's nice just to stay like you 2 weeks, just a few days.
So I made it to the airport. Now I just gotta chill for like 2.5 hours until I board, and then hopefully my flight doesn't get delayed. I'm so tired. What time is it? I'm running on like an hour of sleep. Wish me luck. This was the official end of my trip. So it's a couple days later, and after my flight home from Costa Rica, I stopped by California again to see my family for a couple days. Living in an actual house after Costa Rica is great. But it's been a fun trip. The people that I met in Costa Rica, my family that I got to see here, my friends that I got to see here, I'm gonna miss everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this inspires you guys to get out and travel. It was very rough, but it's the best experience that I could have asked for. I got to live like the locals and experience the true country. It really was something special. Thank you so much to everybody I met on this trip and everybody who supported me through this wild ride. Special thanks to Joy for being so genuine and positive no matter what, and to Brady for being my brother these past few weeks, and a huge inspiration in always doing the right thing. You guys are both amazing people, and I'm so glad that I got to meet you guys. And to everybody watching, get out there, explore, and do what you love. My name is Nicholas Sellers, and this is the story of my trip to Costa Rica.